Welcome, everyone, to Intensity Broadcasting for the 8th race in the FND Route 66 Summer Speedway Series. I am Atlanta I'll be your broadcaster for tonight's race featuring the Gander Outdoor Trucks at Atlanta Motor Speedway with the exciting drivers from FND Racing. Now, FND Racing is one of the oldest online racing simulation groups of any racing game / simulation. Their roots go back to Sierra Papyrus's NASCAR 4, which debuted 10 days before Dale Earnhardt's death all the way back in 2001. So now you can tell why it is one of the oldest online racing simulation groups. The core of the group can be traced back to the Gollum 38 104-lap races that Monty Noise hosted. They then migrated to NASCAR 2002 and NASCAR 2003 before jumping to their current location at iRacing. They are not a league, although they have done the league thing before, so nobody's fighting for points or anything. They are now just a group of guys who share the same passion for heart-pumping, white-knuckle racing, and they do have a team within the group, and they will work with those who race with them, win in other races. And their rooms are open, and unless you prove to be a bonehead, you're welcome to race with us, though. Right now, it is exclusively to A-class drivers. So that could be something that you could work towards to maybe be in this group. You can work towards becoming A-class. That is the only restriction, but if you are somebody who's watching and have iRacing in it and are in Oval A-class, then you're welcome to participate in these FND races and get on the Intensity broadcast. The broadcast tonight is brought to you by the sponsors of Atlanta Racing. And here are the following sponsors. We'd like to thank the following sponsors for their support: Premier Heating and Air Services, Juan's Mexican Cafe and Cantina, Dayton Wee State Farm, Go To Property Services, Smith Wraps and Graphics, Damon's Lawn Service and Landscaping, Motivated Auto Sales, Bobby's Auto Service Center, and Amsoil East Coast Synthetics. So thank you to all of the following sponsors for their support. All of them are great small businesses, so you can, when this the replay goes up on the YouTube, you can go back to the beginning to hear some of the following businesses that I named. And a lot of them have Facebook pages. You can look them up there. Some of them have websites. So go and support some of those small businesses that have supported us, that have supported Intensity Broadcasting and Atlanta Racing. Tonight's format: coming up in 3 minutes and 40 seconds, we're going to have a 1-lap qualifier. The race is 66 laps. The race is using iRacing's Atlanta setup, fuel set at 50%. I believe 3 resets. And each driver, this is newly added to the FND rules, each driver will have 3 sets of tires. So we added now tire set limits to the rules now. So that could play a big role in what happens tonight here at Atlanta. So the last FND race, we didn't race last Friday, but we did race on Tuesday, and Jason Yacht dominated the 87s at Richmond and won during a green-white checkered. Ben Wilvert finished second, and Josh Hall took the third and final podium spot. It was a very small field, though it was a fun race. Jason Yacht took the pole with a 22.849, and Derek Lemke had the fastest lap of the race on lap number 5 with a 22.443. There was 4 cautions. 3 of them were driver spin-outs. There were 12 lead changes among 5 different drivers, and Yacht really ran away from the field. He led a race-high 88 out of the 100 laps. So very dominant Dominant performance from Jason Yacht. There's still 1 minute, but it doesn't look like this week he's in the session. So it looks like somebody else is going to put their name on the winners list of Route 66 Summer Speedway Series winners. We'll see who that is. So I'm going to read the Atlanta Motor Speedway information. In the era of restrictor plate racing, the 1.54-mile Atlanta Motor Speedway vies with fellow Speedway Motorsports facility Texas Motor Speedway for the title of fastest track in NASCAR. Qualifying lap averages generally are in the range of 193 miles per hour and an all-time lap record of 197 plus miles per hour. So the 24-degree banked quad oval has earned its nickname Real Racing, Real Fast. In addition to NASCAR's top series, Legends cars and their Bandolero and Thunder Roadster races race year-round on Atlanta's quarter-mile paved oval that uses parts of pit lane and front stretch connected by 180-degree turns on either end, kind of like Charlotte Motor Speedway's Legend Oval. With 125,000 plus seats, Atlanta Motor Speedway, located about 20 miles south of downtown Atlanta in Hampton, Georgia, has come a very long way from the first race held in 1960 and won by NASCAR legend Fireball Roberts, who also took the pole at 133 miles per hour. Spectators from that day who watched from one small grandstand or on blankets spread out on an adjacent dirt bank wouldn't begin to recognize the facility today, even down to the name. Dubbed Atlanta International Raceway when it opened, the track struggled financially through the 60s and 70s
guys, it's
before
one lap
finding
qualifier,
a degree
one lap.
of stability in the 1980s. It's actually future Georgia governor and president of the United States, Jimmy Carter, briefly worked as a ticket seller on race weekends in the 1960s at Atlanta International Raceway. Real change came following Bruton Smith's purchase of the facility in 1990, with the culmination of the transformation of Atlanta International Speedway occurring in 1997, following an extensive reconfiguration that switched front and back straightaways and added a double dogleg in the new front straightaway. In the 7 intervening years, new grandstands sprouted almost every year, along with a 9-story tower, Terra Place, that houses the track offices and a number of luxury condominiums. Subsequently, the winner's grandstand was erected overlooking the double dogleg front stretch and pits, along with the new private membership Club 1, which features climate-controlled views of the entire track. So visiting Atlanta is definitely a bucket list track. It looks very fun, and hopefully that can lead to some exciting racing here at Atlanta. Right now, qualifying is beginning, so we will look at the times. Though qualifying is not mandatory. Looks like first driver on the board, well, no, fastest time so far is the number 70 of Robert David Ballantyne. Oh, it looks like he's now been overtaken by the number 14 of Steve Law with a 30.584. Still Eric Laurie, Douglas R. Johnson, Joey Steers, Eric Stiles still have yet to go on the board. So we'll see where they go. Looks like Eric Laurie makes his way to 8th on the board. Here's Josh Hall on the track right now. Like Eric Laurie, he's now slowing to a stop after moving to 8th. Dave Swindell making his way onto pit road after making his way to 5th. Same thing with Josh Hall. Ooh, made some contact with the wall there. Looks like Aiden McConaughey is done. And same thing with Joey Stiers. So still looks like Will Barlow is on the track now. So we'll see where he gets. Here he is in that number 25 Smith & Wesson Chevrolet Silverado. So he's got 2 minutes to put up a time. That's just about enough time for him to do so. Also Ben Wilvert, Austin Gee, Paul Fletcher, DJ Harris, and Kyle Green still have to put up qualifying times, though. Again, though, qualifying is not mandatory. I think Will Barlow is going to be the only other. So here he is. This is going to be his official time here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. He's got 1 minute and 20 seconds. That's just about enough time to do it. And let's see where he goes up to. Looks like Will Barlow is going to be put as 14th on the board. So that's last for the most part, but that's okay. We've seen plenty of times drivers make their ways up from the back to the front and win the race. So
Steve Law, you got a copy? Nice lap.
Like Will Barlow
William
now.
Locklear, you got a copy? Thank you, sir. Joey Stiers, 88, you got a copy? Eric Stiles, 01, you got a copy?
Like qualifying is now wrapping up.
Number 71, you got a copy? 25, Will Barlow, you got a copy?
So we are going to do the starting lineup presented by Bobby's Auto Service Center. Starting in the first position with a scorching time of 30.584, racing in the number 14.
All right, gentlemen, welcome to FND's Route 66
we got Ron Malone with the
Summer
drivers
Speedway
meeting.
Series. Tonight's format will be 66 laps on 50% fuel. Cautions are on. You have 2 resets tonight. You do have unlimited tires. The race leader will start and restart on green and green only. There's no changing lane until you pass the start-finish line. And I shouldn't have to say this, but we do this on our Super Speedway Series. There's no 3 wide until we get on the back stretch. Black flags are cleared under caution laps only. If we clear your black flag, you will also receive an EOL, so just keep that in mind. Also, the iRacing sporting code is in effect at all times. Also, if you're acting like a bonehead, you may be removed by an admin without warning. So with that being said, race hard, race clean, and I hope to see everybody at the end. Good luck. Thanks for coming out.
Back to the starting grid again. Steve Law starting in the first position. Starting second, the number 70 of Robert.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah,
David
we run
Ballantyne.
every Tuesday and Friday night. On Tuesday nights,
Starting
we're running
third
we
is
alternate
the
between the
44
trucks and
of
the
David
87s.
Anderson.
They're fixed
Starting in the
between
fourth position
mile
is
and
the
a half
number
tracks
4
and
of
some
William
of the short tracks like
Locklear.
Rockingham, Richmond,
Starting
Darlington,
fifth
those kind
is
of
the
tracks.
number
So we
1
do that
of
on Tuesday.
Dave
Then on
Swindell.
Fridays, we run
Starting
75
sixth, the number
laps at
88
either
of Joey
Daytona
Steers.
or Talladega, either
In
with
seventh,
the
the number
trucks,
9 of Rick
the Cup
B.
cars,
Nichols. In
sometimes the
eighth, the number
Xfinities, and
071
sometimes
of Eric
the
Laurie.
K&N cars.
Ninth, number
That
81
Friday
of
night
Josh
is an open
Hall.
setup
In
race.
10th, the number 01 of Eric Stiles. Starting 11th is the number 388 of Douglas R. Johnson. Starting 12th is the number 83 of Rob Malone. 13th is the number 71 of Aiden McConaughey. And starting 14th is the number 25 of Will Barlow. I think there are a few others that are starting that did not put up a qualifying time, but we'll see about that. It looks like on the front row, Steve Law. He's pretty new to the Route 66 Summer Speedway Series and FND Friday. On the other hand, on the top, Robert David Ballantyne, we've seen him a lot in the FND Racing servers. We know that he's a very good, fast driver. Dave Swindell, also up there in the top 5. He's another FND regular. He's also very fast. So we got a lot of new guys in this server, but also
guys, I would
a lot
ask
of
that if
FND
you're getting lapped by the
members.
leaders, if they request you to either go high or low, that you yield to their command. Thank you.
So I believe pace car pulls in. And green flag is out here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Side by side, we got Steve Law and Robert David Ballantyne. Looks like on the top, Ballantyne is making it work, trying to get by Steve Law. But still looks like they remain equal going on to the back straightaway. Let's see what happens in turns 3 and 4 between Steve Law. Looks like David Ballantyne has got a nose right now over Steve Law. Wow. Steve Law is going to try to make back up some ground. But looks like in the end, Robert David Ballantyne ends up clearing the number 14 of Steve Law. Had a great run on the outside, but I'm not sure we've seen the end of Steve Law. He's still right there on the bumper of Robert David Ballantyne. Behind this, we got the number 1 of Dave Swindell trying to get around the number 44 of David Anderson for that 3rd position. Right now, David Anderson on the top is about around his quarter panel. Man, the high side's been working out very well for drivers as David Anderson ends up clearing the number 1 of Dave Swindell. But I don't think we've seen, again, the end of Dave Swindell. I think we might see him try to make a move again on Anderson. But for now, it looks like another driver making his way on the high side of Swindell. That's the number 4 of William Locklear. And looks like the number 8 is following right behind him. I'm not sure. Looks like the 8 has custom numbers. I'm not sure right now who that is. Looks like the number 44 of David Anderson is making a move on Steve Law for that 2nd position, and looks like he does end up clearing Steve Law for that 2nd position. We see Steve Law peeking down there trying to get him back. Man, David Anderson, he's got a fast car. Here he comes under the leader, Robert David Ballantyne. They're right now equal in turns 1 and 2. Right now, though, still Robert David Ballantyne with the nose over Anderson. Anderson on the very tip of his bumper. Looks like David Ballantyne clears David Anderson again. Looks like we got a move going on for 3rd. William Locklear is trying to get by Steve Law for that 3rd position. He is currently there. He's on the bumper / rear quarter. But looks like in the end, Steve Law ends up clearing the 4 of William Locklear. Still, everyone is close together. The 44 of David Anderson is continuing to try to make a move around the number 70 of Robert David Ballantyne. Here comes the 4 of William Locklear trying to get up there on the outside of Steve Law. The outside has been showing a lot of speed so far here at Atlanta, but Steve Law got some speed there in that back straightaway, and he ends up clearing the number 4 of William Locklear. But here he comes again. He is right now equal with that 14 of Steve Law for third. Locklear's on the quarter. We got a big battle for the first position up here. David Anderson right now currently is there. He's on the bumper. Robert David Ballantyne still has a little bit of a gap separating him and David Anderson. Looks like William Locklear has cleared the number 14, Steve Law. I'm going to continue to watch this battle up front between David Anderson and Robert David Ballantyne. Looks like the number 71 of Aiden McConaughey has currently pulled down on pit road. I'm not sure. You might get some Sunoco fuel and Goodyear tires, and that could help him get by the field. But right now, looks like Aiden is going a lap down. As Robert David Ballantyne gets by him. Looks like David Anderson is starting to lose it. The gap is starting to increase between the two. But still, don't count out that number 44, Famous Dave Chevrolet Silverado, as there's still a lot of racing left to go. We'll see how maybe pit cycles affect everything. Looks like Aiden McConaughey has manually disconnected from the server. We did see him pull on to pit road there. I guess it wasn't his day, but at least thank you for joining us, Aiden McConaughey, and hopefully we might be able to see you on Friday. He does, and looks like the number 70 has increased the gap, so we'll move on back here to where there's some battling going on. The number 8 of Styles, looks like he's the 88. Joey, on you guys' screen on like the ticker, Joey Styles right now has a fast car here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. He's starting to increase his gap right now over Dave Swindell. We'll move back there to Dave Swindell. He's trying to make his way for 4th under Steve Law right now, and looks like he does. Like the U.S. Army car is following right behind him. So now that Dave Swindell has cleared him, I think he'll be setting his sights right now on Styres. But Swindell also has that 01 of Eric Styles, even though he's just the U.S. Army car for his paint scheme. He doesn't have the 01S's number. Yep, here he comes. Dave Swindell is starting to reel in that number 8 car. But can Joey Styres hold him off? Looks like the number 82 of Paul Fletcher has made his way onto pit road. Dave Swindell is there. He's on the bumper of Styres. Looks like Paul Fletcher got some Goodyear tires and some Sunoco fuel, and he's now making his way back off of pit road. After doing that, Dave Swindell has cleared Joey Stiers for that third position, and Eric Stiles has also cleared Joey for, I believe, the 5th position. Quick look back up front. Robert David Ballantyne currently has a 1.4 second lead over David Harris currently. So he is having a very fast car right now at Atlanta Motor Speedway. But when we do see the pit shifts, that could shake up the rankings and everything. Right now, back to the battle for the 3rd position. Dave Swindell and Eric Stiles were battling. We also have the 8 of Joey Stiers behind them as well. And also the 9. But I think this is going to be the main one. Eric Stiles peeks down on Dave Swindell. I think these guys are beginning to catch the 2nd place car of David Anderson. Looks like Dave Swindell now is starting to increase his gap over Eric Stiles for that 3rd position, but still Eric Stiles remains there. Looks like the number 526 of Daniel Kirby is making his way onto pit road right now. Same thing with Paul Fletcher. Paul Fletcher has now made his way onto pit road. I believe Paul Fletcher has used one of his resets. 526 of Daniel Kirby now is making his way off of pit road right now at this time. Uh-oh! Dave Swindell gets into the wall. Eric Stiles gets down below him. Definitely some right rear damage on that number 1 car of Dave Swindell. And looks like Dave Swindell, along with the 7 of DJ Harris, and also the 14 of Steve Law, are making their way onto pit road at this time. Josh Hall also goes on to pit road. So those pit stops gets the field spread out. Still Robert David Ballantyne in the lead. Looks like the 01 of Eric Stiles now on pit road. The 4 of William Locklear is on pit road. The 88 or 8 on there, Joey Stiers, is on pit road. The 388 of Douglas R. Johnson on pit road, and the 83 of Rob Malone right now are on pit road at this time. Dave Swindell makes his way off of pit road. Same thing with the 14, 7, and 81. Like the number 44. Oh wow, looks like the 70 of Robert David Ballantyne is making his way onto pit road right now at this time. Pit road is getting very crowded, as right now all of the scheduled pit stops are going right now at this time. So Robert David Ballantyne right now remains in the lead. Like he beat David Anderson off of pit road. But I believe he will continue to be our leader here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Got a lot of drivers a lap down. Got Dave Swindell is in second, trying to track him down. Looks like the number 70 is getting closer to lap car. That's the number 526 of Daniel Kirby. If he can pass him cleanly. Looks like he was low on the apron, so he does end up passing him cleanly. So the number 70 of Robert David Ballantyne remains in the lead. The pit stops has spread everyone out on the field a lot. I thought pit rankings might get shook up. Like Dave Swindell now is going to have to get by the number 526 of Daniel Kirby to continue being in that second position. Let's see if he can pass him cleanly. Like Dave Swindell, he got in a little bit of an accident with Eric Stiles. No caution came out, but he hit the wall, and he had a lot of right rear damage on that trunk portion of the truck. So looks like he got it fixed when he made his way on pit road for scheduled pit stops. So we will watch these two. The 44 of David Anderson, who's in that third position right now, is beginning to catch Dave Swindell for second. David Anderson makes his way below Dave Swindell. Oh, they get into each other. Oh no, Dave Swindell moves up, hits the wall, and his truck is scraping that Atlanta Motor Speedway wall. And smoke is coming out of that number 1 car currently. Yep. Like the 14 just got into him, and he just got right into the wall at high speed. So a lot of cars right now continuing to pass Dave Swindell. That's the second time he's made his way into the wall with an accident with another driver, but still no caution has come out here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Forgot to mention this, Paul Fletcher has manually disconnected. But regardless of that, looks like Robert David Ballantyne is continuing to be our first place driver. It's like Dave Swindell has manually disconnected from the server after being involved in 2 wall accidents. He had a fast car. It's a shame that it had to end that way. And hopefully we'll see him back on Friday. Looking for any battles on the track right now for any positions. Like, this is the battle for the 7th position. Eric Laurie and the 388 car are currently fighting for the 7th position. That's Douglas R. Johnson in that car. They're running very equal lap times between each other, though it looks like Douglas R. Johnson is right now putting up faster times. Let's see what happens next time by. That time, though, looks like Eric Laurie puts up the faster time. They got, I believe, lap car Josh Hall to make their way by. Oh, no. Josh Hall is the 6th place car. So it looks like Eric Laurie now takes 6th place from Josh Hall, and Douglas R. Johnson now makes his way to 7th. Not sure why Josh Hall is a little bit off pace here. We might see him speed back up and get his 2 positions back. But we will see what happens here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Like the number 44 of David Anderson has got some car troubles. Looks like the left rear and back bumper of David Anderson's car are pretty beat up. So it looks like he'll have to make his way right now on to pit road. Wow, look at Robert David Ballantyne continuing the sport of fast car here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. He has a 9-second lead over William Locklear. Been a caution-free race so far. We've had too many accidents between drivers, but for the most part it hasn't stopped anyone. The field currently seems to be pretty dispersed among everyone. So right now we're going to take this time to look at some of the previous winners here in the Route 66. So on May 26th, it was Trucks at Texas. We saw Bobby Labonte win that race. It was cool to have him in these Route 66 servers. Then on June 2nd, we had Trucks at Vegas, where Louis Loya picked up the win. Then on June 9th, we had Trucks at Michigan, where Joshua Bertelsen would get the win. On June 16th, we had Trucks at Phoenix, where Chris Lucky would get the win. After that, on June 23rd, we had Trucks at Charlotte, where Jeffrey Creek won. Then on June 30th, we had Trucks at Rockingham. We didn't broadcast that race because there wasn't enough drivers where it could be competitive, but Jason Yacht, he would win that one. And then on July 7th, we had the 87 cars at Richmond, and Jason Yacht won that one. So Jason Yacht has won 2 in a row, but he is not in the server, so we will have a new winner here at Route 66. And right now, currently, it is looking like Robert David Ballantyne is the most dominant driver right now, as he has a 10-second lead over William Locklear. Currently looking at some of the upcoming races. Next week we're going to have 87 cars at Phoenix, then Trucks at Kansas, and 87 cars at Darlington. Now that should be fun right there. 87 cars at Darlington. So the next 3 races here in the Route 66 Summer Speedway Series are looking quite fun. While I was talking about that, looks like David Anderson has manually disconnected from the server. I just want to point that out. And still, the field right now currently remains very dispersed between each other, as we're beginning to start nearing the next cycle of pit stops. I think at around lap number 44 to 48, we'll see drivers start trickling in to the pits. We'll see who the first is going to be. In that first round of green flag pit stops, Robert David Ballantyne had a great strategy of keeping himself on the lead lap during that green flag pit stop session. We'll see if he can have that same success this pit session. And I believe after these pits, after this cycle of pit stops, everyone should be able to make it on fuel for the rest of the race. So that is one less thing for these drivers to worry about.
Joey, go ahead and pass me on the outside there, bud.
Looks like Robert David Ballantyne is beginning to catch up to the number 81 of Josh Hall. So he's looking to try to put Josh down, not on the lead lap anymore. Here he is. He moves low on Josh Hall. Now they're equal with each other. And Robert David Ballantyne flies by the number 81 of Josh Hall here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Looks like the first drivers are beginning to trickle onto pit road. The number 14 of Steve Law makes his way onto pit road. Same thing with the number 01 of Eric Stiles. The number 7 of DJ Harris makes his way onto pit road. Josh Hall now makes his way onto pit road. Like I said, this should be when the drivers should be starting cycle in. Looks like the number 4 of William Locklear makes his way onto pit road. The 9 of Rickby Nichols is now on pit road. The 14 and 01 make their way off. The 388 of Douglas R. Johnson is now on pit road. Same thing with Rob Malone. Like Josh Hall, DJ Harris make their way off. William Locklear is now making his way off pit road. Same thing with the 9 car. Now we have the 388 of Douglas R. Johnson, Rob Malone, now off pit road. And now looks like Robert David Ballantyne right now is on pit road getting some fresh Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel. Also, the 526 of Daniel Kirby is making his way onto pit road with Robert David Ballantyne. Like the 88, whatever, of Joey Steers, and also the 25 of Will Barlow and Eric Laurie make their way onto pit road as well. Like Robert David Ballantyne has now successfully made his way off of pit road. Looks like Rob Malone passes him and gets his lap back. So I'm gonna wait for everybody to trickle off of pit road. Looks like Will Barlow, Robert David Ballantyne now looks like putting Josh Hall. I think this time by it'll make him 2 laps down now. Or maybe 1 lap down, I'm not sure. Yep, it puts him 1 lap down now. And everybody right now currently has made their way off of pit road at this time. Robert David Ballantyne has a lot of lap traffic coming up in front of him. We'll see if he can make his way through all of that. It's going to be a little bit of an obstacle course for him. We got a battle going on for the 5th position. We got Douglas R. Johnson and Rob Malone battling for that. So Douglas R. Johnson is beginning to extend his gap over Rob Malone. We'll watch and see how the number 70 of Robert David Ballantyne deals with lap traffic. Right now he's making his way past the 7 of DJ Harris, and he passes him successfully. And the next driver up there is Joey Steers. He still has a little ways to go before he catches up to him. So after those pit stops, these drivers will be able to make it for the rest of this race. So no more pit strategy is to be worried about. Back here for this 5th position, we still have Douglas R. Johnson and Rob Malone battling for it. Rob Malone peaks low on him.
Bob, I'll let you have the inside when you get up here, bud.
Looks like Rob Malone got a little bit of run there in turns 3 and 4. Looks like Joey Steers is passing Rob Malone though, and that should help extend his gap. His number 01 of Eric Stiles is making his way onto pit road currently. I do not believe this is scheduled for that number 01 car. And looks like he just might have had some damage, or he might not have actually gone to pit yet during that whole pit cycle. So it looks like he makes his way off of pit road now and gets back in the mix. Back to this battle for the 5th position. They're pretty grouped apart because we got Robert David Valentine starting to catch up to the number 83 of Rob Malone as lap traffic. And David Valentine makes his way below him, and he ends up clearing him as lap traffic. That was pretty simple. I think before we get the 5 laps to go, we're going to do the Pump Up the Volume presented by Juan's Mexican Cafe and Cantina, so you can hear the sounds of the race cars and everything. Here it is, Pump Up the Volume presented by Juan's Mexican Cafe and Cantina. We are back here after that pump up
He's
the
got a
volume
rocket,
presented
man.
by Juan's Mexican Cafe and Cantina. And still nothing has changed one bit. Robert David Ballantyne has a 19-second lead over William Locklear. And he's been making his way through lap traffic. Again, looks like everybody seems to be able to make it. For the most part, which is good. There's only 4 cars on the lead lap. Unless a caution comes out and lap cars wreck
Gentlemen,
or
no matter
something.
what, this has probably been the most professional race I have raced in. Everybody here has been courteous as hell, and it is just great to be able to drive with a bunch of guys that have great respect and great attitudes, and I really appreciate it.
What Rob Malone said is true. This has been a very clean and professional race from these drivers. A lot of these drivers are new to FND, and still they've been very clean. And
Well, I just put
and
up
like
the room.
Rob
You
said,
guys
this
are the ones
may
that
have
actually
been one
make
of
the
the
race
more
happen.
professional
So
races here
everybody deserves
that
some
Intensity
congratulations
Broadcasting has broadcasted
on your
since the beginning of the Route
behavior.
66 Summer Speedway Series. So nearing 1 lap to go. He's got a 20-second lead. I don't think, unless he spins out. Weird things like that happen, but right now, Robert David Ballantyne, unless something really bad happens, he looks like he's going to be the guaranteed winner. He's led pretty much the majority of this race. He's had a very fast car, qualified on the outside, made his way past the pole sitter, and since then has been the leader of this race here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, making his ways through turns 3 and 4. And that number, Cyrus XM Toyota Tundra. Here he is. Robert David Ballantyne is your winner here at Atlanta
Nice win, Bob.
Motor Speedway. And yes, great win to Robert David Ballantyne. Out of all, like I was saying about the whole professional race, Robert David Ballantyne was clean when he was lapping all those lap cars and everything.
Yeah, he took us to the woodshed, that's for sure.
And also, that may have been one of the most dominant performances, besides maybe last week at Richmond with Jason Yacht. But still, Jason Yacht, it came down to a green-white checker for that. But that was 0 cautions from Robert David Ballantyne. And I think we're going to see some well-deserved burnout for that number 70 car. You know, I'm going to say it one more time. Congratulations
Hey, thanks, Eric.
to
Thanks for coming.
Robert David Ballantyne. I'll give you your finishing results in a second.
I'm telling you, you're on fire. Yeah, good job, everybody. I really enjoy races like that.
That's it for the burnout for Robert David Ballantyne. Oh, nope, there's going to be more. He's going to do a little victory lap around the track. Not a Polish victory lap. Just
Yeah, that's a win right. That's a win right there.
Just a regular victory lap for him. To further on celebrate the dominant performance. And after that, I'll show the final results representing Club Canada. Okay. That's Robert David Ballantyne, that number 70. Second, Even though he was 21 seconds away from the leader, still a great performance for him. Finishing second was the number 4 of William Locklear.
All right, William.
Third was
Thanks
the
for coming.
14 of Steve Law. Finishing fourth was the number 9 of Rick B. Nichols. And fifth was the number 388 of Douglas R. Johnson. Sixth was the number 25 of Will Barlow. Seventh was the number 071 of Eric Laurie. In eighth was the number 83 of Rob Malone. Ninth was the number 83 of Josh Hall.
All right, Doug. Good seeing you, buddy.
In 10th was the number 8 of Joey Steers.
Well, Bob, is that your first victory for 2020?
11th is the number 7 of DJ
you have one other
Harris. 12th was the number 01 of Eric Stiles. 13th was the number 526 of Daniel Kirby. 14th is the number 44
So it is your first
of David Anderson. 15th was the number 1 of Dave Swindell.
Yeah. Good job.
16th was the number 82 of Paul Fletcher.
Now,
And
you put an ass
17th was the
whooping on
number
everybody, that's
71
for sure.
of Aiden McConaughey. So great performance to everyone who participated. Speaking of participating, again, if you are A class, you can participate in these
you found
races.
it for sure.
We're going to have a race Friday night, and I'll give you further information on that. So thank you for joining us for race number 8 in the FND Route 66 Summer Speedway Series.
Yeah, you've kind of got these mile-and-a-half tracks down pretty good.
At Atlanta Motor Speedway. I am Atlee Atman-Weiss, and I hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Please make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Intensity Broadcasting on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. First of all, I do want to thank the 26.6% of our viewers who are subscribed on both Twitch and YouTube. But still, on Twitch and YouTube, 73.4% of our viewers on Twitch and YouTube are still not followed and subscribed. So make sure to do that if you enjoy racing content like this. And also turn on the notification bell so you're actually notified when we post, so you won't miss it. Watch the race replay.
Yeah,
again. Thank you to the sponsors of Atlee Racing. You can go back to the beginning to hear those again. Visit our Facebook where you can get video links if you do miss one of our races.
That's why Monty
and also
always
visit
hated.
our
He always
website
hated
at
running these tracks.
IntensitybRoadcasting.com.
He just never could get it. He was worse at it
on our
than I was.
Facebook page and our website, you can contact us if you would like us to announce your iRacing league. If you do have an announcer slot open, we love announcing, and we'd be happy to announce your iRacing league.
All right, I'm out of here. I'm
I
going
think
to get
that's
the
enough
picture
said.
and
Thank
write
you
up
for
the
joining
blurb and get
us.
it on the Facebook page.
I'm
Good
not
job,
sure
guys. I
what
really
we're
did. I had a good
racing
time. I
in
didn't do very good, but hey,
for
we didn't have any
FND.
cautions, and I didn't crash. So
I'm not sure
it's a good
we're
night for the
racing.
83 Caterpillar Silverado. See y'all later.
But it should be exciting nonetheless. So make sure to join us on Friday for Super Speedway Racing and on FND. All right, looks like it's going to be Cup Cars at Talladega. So make sure to join us. Super Speedway Racing is always fun during FND. It's where the roots come from of FND. So make sure to join us for that. I'm Atlee Atman-Weiss. Hope to see you next time. Over and out.